Happy Friday. Today we're focusing on snow sport safety, and there's a company that's being featured at the SIA Snow Show whose mission is to save lives and reduce the consequences of accidents through the development of marketing and personal protective gear. Joining me now is Yarka Duba. He's the president of POC Sports. You've been educating me about POC for the last 10 to 20 minutes. I've learned a lot. What is it that you guys specialize in?
So we specialize in safety equipment for ski, skate, snowboard, BMX, downhill mountain bike. We make helmets, goggles, and body armor.
And you do it because of safety. You said you started 8 years ago, and you guys go beyond the standards, the normal standards of safety, right?
Correct. It's a Swedish-based company, and the Swedes are all about safety.
Yeah.
The founder's sons both ski raced, and he wanted to make a safer ski helmet for his kids that ski raced.
And so you tested in a lab, and you also have athletes test it, correct?
We do. We have quite a few athletes. Examples would be Tanner Hall, Yoon Olsen, TJ
Nice.
Schiller. Yeah, both on the World Cup and freeride athletes for snowboard or ski.
And you're based elsewhere, but you just opened an office in Aspen.
We did. We hired a new sales manager, and most of his time is spent here. Most of the retailers from around the country come to Colorado to test product, and he wanted to be in the middle of the country. He wanted to be, in snow country. And
you came to the right place.
Yeah,
You're here.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk about your goggles. This was so interesting. You got to tell me why 100% polarized goggles are not safe.
Okay, so full polarization works awesome if you are on a sailboat and you want to cut down all the glare that's coming off the water, right? Perfect. The problem with that for skiing, and the Swedes are all about safety, right? So the problem with that for skiing is that it looks great when you're riding up the lift, but that shimmer that comes off the water that you're cutting down 100%, that is what shows you where the ice is. So if you've got a patch of ice and you're coming down the hill at 40 miles an hour and you can't tell where that is, it makes it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, so that's why you developed this goggle.
Right. So
it's somewhat polarized, but not 100%.
Correct. So NXT is the lens manufacturer, and they make all of our lenses for this particular goggle. And the goal for NXT was to come up with polarization and still let some of that shimmer through. And when they finally got that dialed in, we made a partially polarized goggle lens.
Smart, very smart. Okay, let's move on to the helmet. It looks heavy, not so.
Not
very
heavy
light.
at all, right? Super light. Single impact helmet. This has
single impact means you got to replace it.
You got to replace it.
Even if you drop it on a table?
Maybe not if you dropped it from here, but you have to consider when you have a crash, was that a serious impact, right? Like if you just tip over and you don't hit your head, you may not replace your helmet. But we get phone calls all the time. The guy says, hey, I went into the woods, I hit my head on a tree, should I replace my helmet? Well, yeah, the answer is yes, you need to replace your helmet. So this is a helmet that we're launching here at the show for next season, and it has aramid throughout the entire inside of the helmet.
And what's aramid?
Aramid is the same material that you find in a bulletproof jacket.
Wow.
Right? So it has strips that spread out throughout like a spider web. And then if you have an impact from one side, it actually pulls that energy and protects you from all sides. It keeps the helmet, keeps the construct of the helmet intact.
Yeah.
So as opposed to just like imploding from one direction, it uses the entire helmet.
And you make a helmet for women, which I love, because we have smaller heads. It needs to fit right.
You do have smaller heads, and that's another good point. Having a helmet that fits properly is the real key. So if a helmet's too big, it's not going to work as well. You want to make sure that you have a helmet that fits your head, and our women-specific helmets definitely fit a women's head better.
Okay, real quick, let's do some name dropping. Who's wearing your stuff?
So Tanner Hall, TJ Schiller, Yoon Olsen, Julia Mancuso, who has the gold medal from the Olympics.
Nice.
Who are we missing here? Jeremy Jones, a snowboard athlete,
there you go.
Right?
Yep.
So you'll see the Art of Flight bust down by the convention center, and he's wearing a helmet from POC.
Nice.
Yep.
Very safe stuff, and it looks great too. For more information on POC USA products, visit POC